Sometimes I get activated, a new word to use instead of triggered, I guess, and say something to a friend or family that I regret. It just comes out. How can I better control these impulsive and negatively impacting comments? Is it because there's unresolved frustration? Is it just being passive aggressive? Is it tied to unexpressed emotions? I would love to know how to be better. I love that you're asking all of those questions because it just says that you really are awake and aware. You really are tuning in and wanting to understand. And a couple of things come to mind. One is absolutely there's deeper stuff there, and whether it's that person or not, because sometimes the people that aren't actually triggering us or activating us, or let me say it this way, the ones that aren't really triggering us but they're activating us to feel something within are the easy targets for us to say something to, because we don't actually have the issue with them, and then that person kind of takes the brunt of what our underlying frustration is, an emotion that we haven't dealt with. Because let's remember that anger is only a suppressed emotion. I'm not saying you're angry, I'm just saying that you suggested that you say something that you feel is a little bit more negative, and that kind of has a flavor of anger to it. So that's definitely a suppressed emotion, something you haven't said. But I'm getting the feeling that a lot of times it's not suppressed emotion that's actually about that person, that it's actually something else and someone else that you haven't been able to open your chakra, your throat chakra, to actually say it. And so you say it to the person who isn't going to challenge you. And maybe that's not exactly where you're at with it. Maybe it is the direct person. But either way, I think that it's the same thing. That acknowledge, like, what is it? Go home, journal. I mean, not go home immediately, but like when you're have time to reflect on it, don't just brush it under the rug. Like, really go home, sit and journal about it, and just say, what was it? What was that deeper thing? And when you get into that quiet moment, right, light a candle and say, look, higher self, come and speak to me. Let's transcend the mind. Let's transcend the program of whatever it is here. And let's get right to what is the core of this? Why did I say that to so-and-so? Why did I say it in that way? And sometimes it's your energy, and sometimes it's their energy. Sometimes it is their energy. Sometimes you're just in that vibrational field of which they are in. And when you meet there, you just have that reaction to say it to them in a way that's not. But I wasn't really picking that up in the question here. It did feel like it was very much about you. And so that's one way. The other thing, that comes to mind, and I don't know what your age is, and I'm not trying to make this sound discriminatory as far as age goes. I don't mean that. But what I've witnessed over time, and I saw this with my grandparents especially, and I feel it within myself, but I witnessed it with my grandparents, that especially my grandmother on my dad's side, towards the end of her life, the last 15, 20 years or more, she just said it like it was. And sometimes we were like, whoa, like, did you really mean that? And it was what she really meant. She was just like, I'm just not going to sugarcoat it anymore. And, at first I was kind of shocked by it. And I do think we still have to have that tonality and that sensitivity about how we come across to people, just because we're good humans. But let's embrace that maybe it's just time to say what it is that we think and feel. Like, maybe we don't have to put like such intense filters. I'm not saying be rude. I'm not saying, be uncaring. I'm not saying that. But maybe there's times when someone else needs to hear it in that way. And maybe there's times where you just need to say it in that way. And maybe there's times when you say it that way and you catch yourself, and then all you need to say is, hey, I recognize I just said that with a level of intensity that I didn't really mean to be directed towards you, and I'm not really sure why I did. Please forgive me, or please bear with me. Can we just stay open? Can we retract that? Can we just go back? Just that. And then the other person's going to be like, oh my God, yes, of course. And who knows, it might lead you into a deeper conversation, and they may say, hey, like, I kind of needed that, or we don't know. But I'm just saying, speak the truth. Keep speaking the truth. Like, I don't want you to feel like by kind of having these little outbursts, my words, not yours, that you should somehow try to, completely stop yourself, because I do think there's something there for you that's good, that's good. That's like maybe you're finally speaking your truth. And maybe you just say that, like, hey, it came across a little harsh, but I realized that a lot of my life I haven't really spoken my truth because I've been trying to just be a people pleaser, and I'm more worried about what everybody thinks than just saying like, hey, this is what I think. And so I'm practicing. And when I practice, sometimes it doesn't come out exactly how I really want it to. It comes out with a little bit more aggression or emotion that I just still need to diffuse. So, forgive me, or, please sit with me. And I think you're going to find like those conversations are going to take you so far with those people, and they're going to be so appreciative that you're able to just be in that place of, just real honesty and just really being in the energy of it all. I am always so appreciative of all the questions that you ask. Please go to bethbell.me. There's so much happening over there. Lots of new stuff being launched. You can ask more questions. There is the Awaken Inner Wisdom community membership coming. It may already be there if you're watching this on replay. Please come to bethbell.me. The Awakening Healing Handbook, Psychedelics Resource Guide, Herpes Handbook, so many resources, the Angels, Herpes, and Psychedelics book if you haven't read it. I would love to share more stories with you, more insights, more wisdom, and I can't wait to see you next week. Please join me 11:11 Sunday mornings. All right, until then, wishing you much bliss and love.